Welcome back to Prototype, where our next mission, right about there, right in front of us. Apparently our contact can just tape his cell phone to any payphone anywhere in the city, but for some reason chose to drag us all the way to the opposite corner the first time he spoke to us. Knew I never liked that guy. So there's our mission. So obviously the first thing we're going to do is go the opposite direction. Right down the street here. Through a constant war zone that is New York City. So that I can eat this person. Gotcha. Flashing lights incoming.
Shut up! I have an announcement. First, these people infected with the virus, they're dead already. Keep your distance, and if they rush you, you shoot to kill.
Cap, when's the cavalry getting here?
Second, the cavalry. We're it.
That was absolutely pointless. But, in honor of that, I can announce that was the last of the free-roaming Web of Intrigue targets that I had to kill in the entire game. There will still be more Web of Intrigue targets. There are some that are plot relevant coming up. But the entirety of Sequence 8 was in this general area. I ate all of them except for the one that spawns all the way up here in this corner. And it so happened that the next mission was there, so I allowed the game to teleport me up there. And I grabbed that snack. And all of Sequence 8 is now done. We'll check that out at the end of the video, as we always do. That sequence is actually kind of interesting. So I recommend hanging out for that one. But first, missions. Done enough screwing around. Side quests and arbitrary content. Time for the real stuff. Check in with our contact once again. What is he gonna have for us this time? So far it's been absurd chores. Maybe this time it will actually be substantive.
McMullen's gone to ground. You've come too close too many times. But you have an advantage Blackwatch doesn't know about. You're growing immunity to blood tox. I think the key to McMullen is this. Attack the blood tox facility head on and let them think they have you. When they think they're in control, they'll bring you to McMullen.
How do you know all this?
Wasted another Nokia cell phone.
I need a better idea of what I'm up against.
Honestly, how does he know all this is a great question. We didn't even know ourselves that we were now immune to blood tox. And we aren't immune to blood tox. That's just a plot thing. But somehow our contact knows our own physiology better than we do. Landed right next to a military person. Well, I'm still wanted, but that's fine. There. Now I'm innocent. So, if we were to come in contact with any blood tox, it would have exactly the same effect as it had last time. But for plot reasons, we are apparently becoming increasingly immune to it, and this will only benefit us during cutscenes. But first, we have to earn those cutscenes. And to do that, we have to go through the epicenter of all blood tox. What are the odds?
Decodes, armor, gun emplacements. Great. This place needs to come apart piece by piece.
And this is quite the hell of a well-guarded place. Super soldiers who only take half their health bar from a Like, full damage guillotine attack. Not thrilled to see that. Even hunters are one-hit kill from guillotines at this point. That didn't go well. It didn't go well at all. At least the checkpointed us on the roof there. Funny thing is, this isn't even one of our targets. We want blood tox filters, not blood tox dispensers. But the dispensers do drain our health whenever we are in the vicinity of them. So we don't want to mess with them too much. Is a bit of a reason I'm clearing out this area. Not like a great reason or anything. There's a filter over there that is getting the priority of my lock-on because it is technically on screen. The game targets mission objects first, then super soldiers, then blood tox dispensers.
Primary strike package dispatched. Clear the zone, over.
And then finally random soldiers.
Boy, strike asset.
Got a bit of a strike team coming in, breaking my new tank. I found the tank to be by far the best way to deal with this, because it chews up these filters. Gets us to our checkpoint, which is very necessary, because I fully expect to do checkpoint hopscotch. Being in a tank does make us immune to blood tox, which is great. And the super soldiers have a hard time getting to us while we're in the tank. So that's fine. This is to be expected because I did make a little bit of progress. This should spawn us in a brand new fresh tank with no wanted level. So we can just start attacking stuff in the middle of their base. Probably get in multiple free kills before they even have a chance to react. What we got?
We now have multiple openings.
3 filters down. Might not get another one. Yep, I got almost every single filter. So now we just climb away, find the last filter, and guillotine it. Or not, because lock on. Being lock on again. Here we go. It won't die instantly, but it will take a hell of a lot of damage. And mission accomplished. Via cheapness.
He's neutralized. You know the drill. I want this in the storage unit 10 minutes ago. Bring in the bird. We're moving this to the director. Now!
Hi, boss. That is a foolish thing to do. You know who I am, and you know what I do.
You were always so smart. You were ready to give up all our secrets.
So you infected me.
No. Are you insane? But you always were a lateral thinker. Plans within plans.
Put down the vial and back away!
Alex Mercer died. He died threatening to release the most deadly virus in history on the people of New York. You died in Penn Station, but the virus found its way into your bloodstream. And here you are, filling in the blanks. We were trying to figure it out. You just wanted to bring it all down. But this isn't what you came here for, is it? You want to know what happened at Hope, Idaho. You want the truth. I know the secret.
Listen, there's nothing else you can do to hurt me.
Well, that was McMullen. Been chasing him the whole game, and he killed himself. Last time Alex talked about it, he heavily implied that he was the one who killed McMullen. But no such luck. Honestly, what was he gonna do? He was, wildly outclassed by Alex. Didn't stand much of a chance in a fair fight, so he couldn't have been a boss. They just had to give us a gratuitous shot of his head exploded. And that's that. How did 530 casualties, like the civilians, how did they die there? We spent that entire level inside a military base. Starting to feel like they may just be making up numbers to make us feel better at the end of the mission. But if you watched the Web of Intrigue videos at the end of the last update, you basically knew everything they just told us. Even the things Alex should have known because he's been eating the Web of Intrigue targets. Which is Alex stole the sample of the virus and intentionally unleashed it when he was cornered at Union Station. He is the cause of the outbreak. Personally and willingly. The deaths of, 5 million people are on his hands. And yes, we were captured, but because our contact told us, it turns out we're immune to blood toxin. We were just pretending to get captured. They assumed the blood tox would incapacitate us. And I guess they never really checked. Right. So here's a payphone, hilariously parked at the end of a pier. Payphone that, in addition to the already unpopular medium of payphones, would never even be seen by any human, so it's completely pointless. Is our contact just installing payphones around the city? Just so that he can tape cell phones underneath them? So as to contact us? Our contact is quite absurd. I'm growing to hate them. Hey, a little tooltip that I never asked for. Well, let's take advantage of this arbitrary payphone, since we're the only one who knows it exists.
I thought it was time we talked. You don't want to do that.
I've done your job for you. I've broken the back of the infection.
In a few hours, this whole place will be glass.
Even Randall's not crazy enough to nuke Manhattan.
You're wrong. He was at Hope in '69. He'll do anything to stop the infection. If you help me stop him, you get your secret.
There's no way to get to that ship without being blown out of the sky.
I have a way. Randall wants a colonel named Taggart. He sent me to find him. He's our key onto the Reagan. Taggart's massing a large force of helicopters at these locations. If we don't move now, he'll muscle his way out of Manhattan in a fleet of helicopters, and Randall might not be able to stop him. Mercer, take out the helicopters. I'll try and pin down Taggart's location, and don't let any of them get out of the city. Taggart could be on any one of them.
Why does it seem like I'm getting the short end of this deal?
Ross is more clever than he seemed back in his boss fight.
Has access to the helicopters. He can get out anytime he wants.
And he seemed pretty damn clever during his boss fight, if we're honest. But he realized Mercer could be useful. And is using us to help not get the entirety of New York City obliterated by a military madman. Just a full-on Heart of Darkness fucker.
Tiger's aircraft are somewhere near here.
Okay, now we're completely surrounded by helicopters, and we need them to die. What's the best way to do that? It is actually, for the most part, to steal them. And we can steal them right out of midair using our whip fist. Then we can jump from portion to portion and crack it open like a clam. Steal that chopper. Plenty more choppers where that came from, though. What I'd like to do is take my newly acquired helicopter, bring it over to the next one, and crash it into it. But they're not going to allow that this time. No mid-air collisions right now. But probably eventually. Should be close enough. It is a little bit hard to get close enough to hijack some of these helicopters. But it's pretty fun. In fact, this mission is one of the coolest and most unique ones in the entire game. The game really could have used a lot more like this. Like, it's a shame this one is coming in so late, because it is very cool. Our lock-on with the helicopters is weak. I'm still standing. Not for much longer. I'm even gonna stealth myself. Not sure how that works. But the military has now learned that anyone flying through the air is probably Zeus at this point. There we go. What I'm looking for. Definitely need to get way higher if I'm to grab it. Just no idea that it was me until I physically broke out the whip arm. No reason to be suspicious of the guy literally flying alongside your helicopter. And the helicopter's spawn point has numerous turrets, and they will shoot me down as soon as I get anywhere near that spot. As they're doing right now. Looks like they'll even shoot me down, but I'm not in a helicopter. It starts telling you that it is about to escape long before it actually is in any risk of escaping. Also, for some reason, the helicopters obey the shape of the streets below them. Kind of funny, but they're constantly taking super inefficient paths, which will prevent them from getting away from you. Now, a nice thing here is I'm going to lose suspicion, and the next helicopter is right over here, so I should be able to kill it. Without losing my helicopter. Now I have a powerful tool.
He's here. Get our wings off the ground. Clear, clear.
And I'm still tempted to throw it away by crashing it into this guy. So the thing is, Alex doesn't lead his shots when he's firing missiles from the helicopter. But if you descend rapidly while firing the missiles, they typically will hit their targets. Not a guarantee, of course. But it tends to work pretty well. Another objective down.
No personnel, no survivors.
I believe the checkpoint is all the way back at the rooftop of the last area. We won't have to redo any of the helicopter killing. But we will have to go all the way back and re-traverse the city if I die. Which is certainly not going to happen, because why would it? There's a bit of a helicopter traffic jam over here. As noted, they just sort of behave like cars. They seem to not realize that they can fly. We get a fresh one. It seems like, relative to the Xbox version, hijacking helicopters, as in the last QTE where you have to hammer the triangle button for a while, is much easier. I've actually been doing all of my practice on Xbox 360 and then switching over to PS4 to gauge differences and so that I can keep my trophies.
Damn you, Taggart. Damn you for making me do this.
Yeah, I want to show off all my trophies on screen. And now we're going to get to see them if I am to earn any further. That went surprisingly cleanly.
Hope was a Blackwatch project. The goal of the experiment was to create a viral weapon that could be used to target specific racial types. But Hope went wrong. A mutated virus infected all those people. Drove them mad. Their bodies crawled with hell. And at the center of it all was Elizabeth Green. Now, somehow she survived. Endured the virus, absorbed it, changed it, whatever. Her unique biology inspired this new bioweapons research program. This became Gentech. And Alex Mercer worked for them. There was one leak too many and Randall stepped in to shut it down. No one was safe. Mercer fled the scene with a sample of the virus, took it as insurance if he needed it. Blackwatch cornered him at Penn Station. With his back to the wall, he unleashed the virus on Manhattan. What Mercer did is beyond forgiveness. But there is no Alex Mercer anymore. The virus didn't just kill him, it became him. Copied his body down to the genetic level. It became me. I am the virus. And I, in turn, released Elizabeth Green to infect the city a second time. Now she's dead. All right, but Randall won't accept that the virus can be stopped. And with Firebreak, he'll level the city. Just like Hope. But now, Hope has one final riddle to give up. Green was pregnant when they found her in '69. What happened to that child?
I suppose your answer is out there on the Reagan?
All I know is I'll get my answer from Randall.
Spelling it all out there. Mercer intentionally started the entire infection. But it was because he was cornered? There's a case to be made that maybe he was just trying to be a whistleblower And the fact that he knew he was a dead man one way or another after they cornered him in the station meant that he just did it out of desperation. It still makes it an incredibly evil act, but one that he's not entirely to blame for. There's a bit of a moral discussion to be had there. Definitely seems like he had good intentions and did not follow through with them, and in fact did the exact opposite of anything moral. We also learned long ago that Hope was set up to be multicultural. There were people of all races, they specified. Long ago. And then we never really thought about it, and we never have learned what Blacklight was about, why it was being engineered to be so deadly. It is a racial extermination virus, an engineered plague designed specifically for genocide by the US military. So, that paints a very negative picture of said military. And if you were to watch the upcoming Web of Intrigue videos, you will find out that the military is even more fascist than we thought they were, to quite a significant extent. And they have literally been called fucking Nazis, unquote, earlier in the game. Game is fairly critical of them. Now, because that mission, both those missions went extremely well, the video is coming up extremely short. So what I'm gonna do, my little military getup here, is raid a military base and see what skills I can steal from those within. Just to show how that whole thing works. But I'm making it easy. Particular base, well guarded. So what I'm gonna have to do, not that. Nope, wrong target again. You're theoretically supposed to sabotage the detectors, but when they're this plentiful, you just can't. We'll break some of those. Then we'll excuse ourselves, then we'll just casually come back. In a different costume. Uh-oh, I'm stuck at a wall. And did not need virus vision. Bit of a misclick, but we're nice and safe now.
This is Chalk 3. We've lost contact. You have an eye on the target. Over.
Regen should get us some health back, but not very much. And considering I've got plenty of upgrade points, Spy, regen boosts. They're actually surprisingly cheap at this point of the game. The economic inflation for purchasable upgrades gets absurd. So it takes so many consecutive levels and optional side content to get enough experience to get, like, the Blade Sprint Frenzy for 1.2 million experience. And then it turns out to not be very good. So you can't really experiment. You can't even dream of maxing out all your stuff. Oh, I don't even have the max jump upgrade. That would have made the previous mission considerably easier. We would have got that sooner. Body surf was demonstrated in the opening segment, the tutorial, which was a flash forward. I believe, if I recall correctly, it was a flash forward to the moment Elizabeth Green emerges from the ground in Times Square. So at this point, it is behind us. Like driver, why the hell not? Air combos. I've literally never done an air combo, so I'm never going to be able to show that off. Breakdown smash, in case you're having a breakdown. Unsurprisingly, all those are worthless. Ah, but there was, perhaps, one or two more things here in the disguise options. Improve stealth consumes, make it a little faster. More health from consumes, that would have been nice to have sooner. And increase the range on Patsy. I can barely not afford it anymore. But we haven't even tried Patsy yet. Here's our upgraded stealth consume. Nice neck snap. Do another one for health. And then we'll make our way to the base that we have wrecked. There's the guy we need to eat in order to get through the door. He lost his guards, so I was kind of hoping to raise more hell, but alas. We'll just take this boon. Definitely a lot more upgrades I should have purchased, a lot more I should have been showing off. Helicopter control would have been nice to have sooner. Probably going to be saying that a lot as I acquire additional upgrades. Going into the very end of the game. Perfect time for it. So we have, in our military outfit, artillery strikes and the Patsy ability.
That's one right there.
They shoot everybody in the room because you said one guy could be Zeus. This is a real powder keg of a room. But if we're careful, we should be able to use this to hilariously make our way through. Still charging up another Patsy. Can't believe this counts as someone seeing me, but there we go. Terrorist throw it out. We're getting a bunch of new animations now that I have that upgrade. More artillery strikes. We used to be limited to one at a time. You can only get more if you ate another military personnel. Look at this guy. Clearly a Zeus. A Zeus if I ever saw one. Zeus would be fantastic at werewolf. We gotta get this guy to a con. Or barring that, at least a game of Among Us. Okay, with only one left. Take him on right in front of everybody. Get a bunch of experience. Then we get to have fun slicing our way out. check something. It's been so long that I've forgotten how to do one of my... Devastators. Let's see. Okay, square plus triangle. Become Vlad the Impaler. Didn't even really get enough of them. But they did not bring enough explosive experts. The one guy they did give bombs to shot other soldiers. Get a pseudo Wilhelm. I'm really surprised at the lack of guys with rocket launchers. They will normally toss you all over the place as soon as you start raising hell. That was just a grenade launcher, which still knocks you back, but does very little damage in the process. I could go stealth again. I believe if you do go stealth and they forget you're there, you can actually just leave without killing everybody. Kind of reminds me of Tenchu Wrath of Heaven, where you can, at the very, very late game, learn the ability to perfectly imitate a chicken. And then when you do, you can, like, get someone's attention and get them very suspicious of you, and then just run away and cluck like a chicken, and they'll think, oh, it was just a chicken, I don't have to worry about it. And this still works if you punch them in the face first, or stab them a few times. They'll be like, oh, it must have been just a chicken that almost killed me a moment ago. And then we just casually walked out of the base. If I hadn't gotten outed by the detector there, we would have just left that base completely covered in viscera, but otherwise aroused no suspicion whatsoever. Which would have been quite the unpleasant surprise for the next person taking over indoor guard duty, where they apparently just walk laps around the building forever. But we gained a bunch of new abilities, and if we were to go to a different base, say this one here, we would gain even more abilities because of the plus sign up in the corner. I have left all those ability grinding things for the end of the game, because I don't really want them. Let's try body surfing. It's pretty hilarious. That's not a human. Here, this guy's shooting civilians and infected alike. There we go. Smear him across the pavement. Utterly worthless. It's a pure style move. Seems to do nothing for me. But there we go. I've showed off a little bit of side content, because I honestly expected those missions to go way, way worse than they did. And this leads us very near the end of the game. So check out the remaining Web of Intrigues. All we have is Sequence 8, and I do recommend you check these out because they tell us way more about the military and their years of horrible abuse, and especially about Pariah, the little Damien Omen kid who survived Hope, Idaho. We've heard a lot about him. Now we're going to learn a lot about him. Recommend you check that out. Ooh, another prize. But for now, thanks for joining me this far in the prototype. One more landmark. And Web of Intrigue time. No more targets available because I've eaten every single free roaming target in the game. Only 2 left. Sequence 9's a real short one. Just use the D-pad to reset myself. Over here, we remember Elizabeth Green. Means our first one in sequence 8 is right here. Flashing images, ahoy.
Subject Pariah, removed to clean room at Vandenberg Air Force Base on 8/1/69 as main test subject in Project Crusade. Subject exhibits unusual biological activity, responsible for 5 deaths in 34 years of captivity. Unlike Mother, Pariah exhibits no physical symptoms of blacklight infection. Operation Altruistic began 7/5/69. Elements of the 1st Biohazard Threat Unit, now called Blackwatch, out of Fort Detrick. The force encountered resistance from infected individuals on the outskirts of Hope, Idaho. After a prolonged skirmish, the town was shelled. It was then recaptured. 2 survivors. 1, Green, Elizabeth A., age 19 years. 2, male child, identity classified beyond top secret.
You'll hear a lot of crap about where the group started, Lieutenant, but I'll give you the lay of the land.
Sir.
Son, how do you fight a war?
Sir?
You engage the enemy. In our case, the virus. We couldn't just sit back and study it. We had to experience it. No one had seen anything like it in action before.
Hope, Idaho?
Hope, Idaho was just a sacrificial lamb. Necessary cruelty. Without it, we could not save the world.
I understand, sir.
Of course you do. That's why you're one of us.
I don't understand the significance.
Pariah may be the only thing that can stop Mercer and Green. They may not let me know what he is, but I can guess. If Green was an imperfect release of non-coding regions of the genome, and Mercer was something more, what if Pariah was a perfect realization of all the non-coding regions in the genome? It may be the final purpose of all life on Earth.
So you're wondering what Pariah is to Elizabeth Green?
The more interesting question is this. What does Pariah have in common with Alex Mercer? I have my theories. Mercer might be the artificial activation of non-coding regions, something achieved by genetic manipulation. Pariah is a natural release of things buried in the genome. I have a feeling it might be extraordinarily bad if they ever met face to face.
Why the fuck are they shooting at us? They're supposed to be on our side. Damn! Damn! That is it, man. I'm out of here. I'm gonna smoke anything that ain't a Marine.
Hey, Blue Boy, get your men out of here.
Thank God you guys are here.
Get your men out now.
Guys, we're done. Let's let the professionals handle it.
You can't keep me here. I know my rights.
Maybe, but you obviously don't know much about martial law. You have the right to be ventilated. I have the right to burn your home and shoot your dog. Do you understand your rights as I have read them to you?
Yes, please.
Then shut the fuck up.